Why do consulting firms and other corporate employers like the Fortune 500, startups, and even the government use case interviews to evaluate candidates? In this episode, we'll share some insights into what the case interview tells the employers that you may not have thought of before. Whether you're applying to McKinsey, Capital One, or a PE firm, knowing how to do case interviews will likely be the key to your success. Since I did my first case interview almost 20 years ago, there have been a rise in organizations that use the case interview, an evolution of the processes that the case interview deploys, and different types of case interviews that have become more tactical, specific, and data-driven over time. It's helpful to think about what the firms think about when they're evaluating you so that you know how to prepare in the optimal way. There are three primary reasons why firms, including consulting firms, utilize the case interview as their top evaluative tool for new candidates. Please make sure that you're subscribed to our channel for more great content just like this. The first reason firms use case interviews is to test your ability to do the tactical work that you'll be required to do day after day. Usually, this involves just a verbal case interview where you'll walk through some of the data that they give you verbally, and you do the math verbally and you give the answer verbally. But sometimes case interviews, as they've evolved, have gone into more practical tests. You'll actually have an hour to build a presentation that you'll have to deliver. You'll have a financial modeling exercise or even a coding test. Any one of these are a case interview because they isolate a business problem and they focus on the issues at hand. Why do firms care about testing you on the actual skills? Well, if they ask you what you can do, many candidates sound exactly the same. If they ask you to show them what you can do, candidates are very easily separated into good, great, and terrible categories. And that helps a firm gain more insight than they could in any other way. Finally, many of you are coming from academic environments, so it's really important for you to understand that firms are testing your ability to deal with something in the real world. Many case interviews don't have strict parameters. They let you decide what you do, when you do it, and how you do it. And because of this, the firms are testing not your ability to get an A by getting to the right answer, but how you think. That's a really important insight as you're beginning to prepare for the case interview process. Second, the firms are testing you to see whether or not you take initiative like an analyst would. In a world of remote and hybrid work, this has never been more important than it is today because firms don't want to micromanage you. And God bless them, you don't want to actually be in an organization where you're micromanaged either. So there's alignment on what everyone wants, but they're going to need to test you, and this is how they do it. Inside the case interview, instead of saying, let's do this next, they'll say, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should look for in the data? How do you think we should manipulate this data to come up with the insights? What do you think the insights are? This is an opportunity for you both to demonstrate that you can communicate your ideas, but also that you can drive to action-oriented insights on your own. Usually, this portion of the case interview will lead to two different options in the way that the firm evaluates you. They'll see that you're a candidate who likes to gather information without action, or a candidate who is biased toward action and gathers the necessary information in order to get there. That difference is what usually helps people get offers that otherwise wouldn't understand what the firm is looking for.
Hey, Strategy Simplified. It's Japheth here, your producer, and I really quickly wanted to pop in to tell you about Black Belt. So if you're targeting a consulting role at a firm like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, Oliver Wyman, Accenture, you name it, Black Belt is a structured case prep program that might be exactly what you need to push you over the hump and land that offer. So it is a structured case coaching program where you'll get one-on-one coaching from a former McKinsey, Bain, or BCG consultant. You'll also get a year of free access to our new community for exclusive employer info sessions, training, masterclasses, community support, and much more. Last but not least, you get unlimited digital materials to support your case prep progress. Oh, and by the way, over 80% of Black Belts who complete the program land a consulting role. That's pretty incredible. So we'd love to see you inside of Black Belt. Join at the link in the show notes.
Hey, it's Ian with Management Consulted, your favorite go-to gal for anything and everything MC. I'm so excited to share with you today something really special. I don't know if you know this, but I provide 15-minute meetings for candidates who are looking for recruitment support. I can help you strategize and plan out how you're going to navigate through your recruitment season and exactly how MC can help you. In that meeting, we can review your resume and I can provide you some industry insights tailored to your specific background. And maybe, just maybe, I can sprinkle just a little bit of hope in there as well. I'd be excited to connect with you when you're ready to explore personalized coaching support, so feel free to book a meeting with me through the link in the show notes today.
Number 3, would you be fun to manage? At the end of the day, there are actually a decent number of people who could do a pretty great job when given data, when they have to design a presentation, and more. But are you somebody who would love it and would they love working with you? That's part of what the case interview tests for. And that's why it's not an asynchronous test, why somebody will sit with you in a Zoom room or in a meeting in order to assess whether you're having fun in the process, whether you're invigorated by the problem solving, whether you handle challenges with a natural ease. All of those things are an important portion of how they can evaluate whether you would enjoy this job. The only better way is to bring you in and have you work with the organization for a number of months. But in lieu of this shortens their evaluation process and gives them the insights they need to make sure that you would be a great cultural fit with the organization. Finally, let's talk about who uses case interviews. Now, there are, of course, the usual suspects, and I'll mention them in a minute, but some of the unusual suspects are the ones that I want to focus on first. For example, there are financial firms such as Capital One and American Express that have internal strategy groups, and those groups hire ex-consultants, and they also train people in internal consulting processes. They use case interviews from A to Z, just like a consulting firm would. Second, you find tech firms such as Amazon, Google, and even Netflix. Now, of course, there are ex-consultants that are leading many of the organizations inside these firms. But beyond that, they want people who can think critically about how to build the future. And tech is one of the best places to find that. So in those organizations, you'll often have both a strategic objective, but also a technical test. Be ready for both of those. For CPG firms, like Whirlpool or Coca-Cola, there are many opportunities inside their marketing departments to do case interviews. They're often trying to figure out what customers we should target with what products at what price point. And case interviews are a great way to have a structured discussion that evaluate the insights and the data-driven nature of each of their candidates. Now, there are, of course, these usual suspects that you would think would use case interviews because, after all, they created the process. Those firms include the MBB firms, McKinsey, Bain, and BCG. Then there are the big four firms, such as EY Parthenon, Deloitte, Strategy and inside PwC, and KPMG. All of these organizations use case interviews across multiple different functions in their services divisions. And finally, there are boutique firms with a list too long to even mention, including Oliver Wyman, LEK, Kearney, OC&C, and more. These firms use tests from their specific cases in order to evaluate all the three things that we talked about before. Can you do the work? Are you an independent, initiative-taking thinker? And would you be fun to manage? Consulting firms aren't the only ones who use case interviews. So when a firm brings one up to you, you need to be ready in the process. If you'd like help getting ready for case interviews, we have the best in the business coaches that are standing by, ready to help you figure out what your issues might be and solve for them to ensure that you get the offer. It's a complicated process with a lot to think about, and having a guide is the best way to go. We'd love to work with you. You can find more information about our programs at the link in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening. Because you're listening to this episode, we suspect you might have a case interview looming in your future, or maybe even you're hoping you have one because it means a great job is on the line. Ensure you put your best foot forward in these limited chances by utilizing Management Consultant's resources. We have a free case course that's linked to in the show notes, as well as our Black Belt and Super Prep case prep programs. Please email us if you have further questions, team@managementconsulted.com. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.